Hey, what's up guys, Skia here. So if you're watching this video, you've probably heard of a game called Wildstar, which is what we are going to be talking about today. The game just came out on the 31st for Head Start, and I grabbed a copy of the game a couple days before that, kind of on a whim with some friends, and I'm actually quite impressed. And so this is just kind of my first impressions of the game, playing through Head Start and into the official launch now. Without having played much or any of the beta, I was just in one of their ops weekends. It was very interesting to play through so far. I've leveled 4 classes up through the starting areas and into a little bit higher content, and I'm kind of taking my time with it because I'm actually very much enjoying the low-level zones, believe it or not, and I haven't found myself enjoying questing in a game in a little while since Star Wars: The Old Republic, because I really like the story. So far, like I said, I've been very impressed. I think Carbine has done a wonderful job making this game feel very complete right from the get-go. The beginning leveling zones are very fun and very unique, believe it or not. And questing's quite entertaining. And although it is kind of similar to the traditional MMO style of go here, kill X number of these, or gather X number of these, blah 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 blah, they do put a bit of a twist on it in terms of, one, it's actually kind of challenging after level 10. You die pretty easy to mobs if you don't avoid the telegraphs and kind of pay attention to what you're doing. You can't just kind of AFK through questing in this game, which I really like that. They also do like challenges and you have puzzles and stuff like that to kind of break up the monotonous questing, which is really cool. So it doesn't feel like you're just questing. It kind of does feel like you're exploring and you're in the world, which is cool. The exploration in this game is spectacular. You can pretty much go wherever you want within the world, and I find that to be quite awesome. It'll even down level you if you want to help a friend and join a party with them and quest with them. It'll like scale you down and give you a mentor buff, which is really cool, and so you can kind of help your friend quest or do whatever. And so that's really nice. I mean, right off the bat, that is really important to me, to be able to enjoy my questing experience, because that's, I don't rush to endgame. I like to take my time a little bit. I don't take forever, but I don't rush it out. I want to see what the game developers have to offer, why they made this experience. So anyways, as far as classes and stuff like that go, I'm also very impressed with that too. There's not a lot in this game I actually don't like. It takes a while to get used to, I guess. On that note, it takes a while to get used to the mechanics of this game. The combat system is very unique. It's very different. It definitely requires you to learn. There's a learning curve with this game, which can be good and bad. I think kind of good in the fact that the genre has been a bit stale in mainstream games like World of Warcraft. It's all kind of followed that style, which isn't to say a bad thing, because Wildstar has a lot of aspects of that kind of gameplay, which I love, but it has a learning curve in terms of combat, in terms of the combat system, the telegraphs and the independent movement, the momentum, dodging, sprinting, double jumping. It's all very cool. I love it, but it does require you to really be paying attention while you're learning and understanding the mechanics. So that being said, though, classes and class mechanics and systems in Wildstar are very in-depth in my opinion. Each class is very unique. Even the warrior, which is pretty much in every MMO, is done a little differently in this game, and I'm feeling myself very inclined to play a warrior, actually. I kind of like to play up all classes rather, to a somewhat decent level, like 15 or so, before I make a decision on what I want to play. And I'm actually feeling very inclined to play the warrior just because I love melee, and the take on the warrior is very cool in this game. You have a lot of very interesting, cool-looking abilities, in my opinion. But anyways, I digress. And the systems, and like I said, the system and mechanics for classes are very cool. You have a limited action set, is what they call it, where you can only have so many abilities on your bar at one time, on your action bar. So that kind of gives you a lot of customization and options. You can't use every ability at one time. You have to kind of pick and choose what you want for that encounter, what you want for that PvP match, or whatever. And you can then put ability points and upgrade those abilities to make them more powerful or change their effect slightly or whatever. And then you have their take on talents, which they call amps, which is a system where every time you level, you get an amp point, of course, and then you get to put that into and fill out your amps. And your amps go in categories such as like assault or support or utility, which would of course be DPS, tanking, healing, or kind of crowd control, you know, CC buffs and stuff like that doesn't fit in either one of those other categories. So it gives you a lot of opportunity to customize your character. You can do hybrid, you can really do whatever you want. I think it will be very cool to see what people come up with. I'm looking forward to that for sure. As far as kind of what most people would probably consider the meat of the game, which would be, you know, the PvE and PvP content, you know, endgame content, I think this game has a lot to offer. I do not believe they made the mistake of expecting people to take their time leveling and then have no content to offer, such as SWTOR made that mistake. A couple other games have made that mistake. Carbine did not do that with this game. It doesn't appear that way. I'm not at endgame, like I said. That being said, everything I've read, everything I've seen shows that that is not the case. We have a lot of stuff available. We have, as terms of PvE content, we have our, you know, traditional 5-man dungeons, but of course that's very interesting and very unique in terms of the gameplay mechanics. You know, we have those telegraphs you have to dodge, and if you get hit by one of those telegraphs, you are going to take a substantial amount of damage. So they are very difficult. Anyways, we have 5-man dungeons. We got our 20 and 40-man rating. Yes, 40-man rating is in this, which I think is cool. And then we have a new piece of PvE content called adventures, which are very unlike scenarios if you've played World of Warcraft, in my opinion. It actually, when you zone in, you get to vote on the quests that you're going to do out of like 3 or 4. And the scenario kind of tailors itself based on the group's choice. And then at points throughout the adventure, you get to vote again on the next piece. So you have different options of kind of completing that story or completing that encounter. And then each one are pretty different. So you get to kind of experience it in a different way. So it has some replay value, which is very cool. And it's not quite just a dungeon that you play through. It does have some story to it. It's guided in that way. So I really do like that. That's a new tweak and a new interesting twist. And then as far as PvP goes, which I'm a huge PvP player, we have our 2v2, 3v3, and 5v5 arena matches. Awesome. It's awesome to have a game that comes out with that right away. Battlegrounds, of course. You can't not have Battlegrounds. Then we have rated Battlegrounds, which is cool. I really love those from WoW, so I'm glad those are in here right away. And then we have something called War Plots, which are 40 versus 40 player, customizable, huge scenario battlegrounds, essentially is what they are, if I'm not mistaken. Each team gets to kind of customize their side of the map, which is new. I don't know how that's going to work. I haven't done one yet. It looks really cool. It looks very interesting. And so that's kind of new in a way. I know a lot of other games have tried to do, you know, big battles, and so I wonder how this will play out. Honestly, I don't have a feel for this yet, but it sounds cool in theory, so I'm excited about that. So we have a lot of content to do right off the bat, which is amazing, which it doesn't seem, like I said, that they made that mistake of not expecting people to get to endgame right away. I know somebody hit 50 within just the Head Start weekend, if I'm not mistaken. It's very quick. That being said, again, questing is a little more difficult in this game than some others, so be prepared for that if you decide to give this game a shot. You're not going to be hitting 50 without effort, let's say. And again, I want to say I'm not at max level, so take that for what you will. But like I said, I just wanted to give my initial thoughts on this game. It's only been on a week, so can't expect me to get too far. I'm also still just kind of playing around with different classes and exploring the world. You have a lot of options kind of right from the get-go. So in terms of, like, you know, paths and stuff, there's a lot we could talk about in this video, but I think we'll save that for separate segmented videos where I have a bit more time. So anyways, that's it for me, guys. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys later.